Imagine a world where you need your government ID just to check the weather. Now imagine a system that tracks you from cradle to grave, logging every move, every word, and every purchase. Meanwhile, our smart appliances are quietly watching us from inside our homes, collecting data on our everyday lives. This is not in some distant future. This is the new normal. A track and trace system that's built to end anonymity forever. Hey everyone, it's DinaKalmeta here. And today we're looking at the rapid rise of digital ID, biometric surveillance, and the systems that are quietly being built all around us. The Australian state of Victoria has launched a digital birth certificate trial that quietly links newborns to the nation's expanding digital identity framework. Framed as a simple paperwork fix for kindergarten enrollment, the program converts a child's birth certificate into an app-based credential stored in a government wallet. Parents are told that this is about convenience, fewer forms, faster verification, but the reality is more consequential. For the first time, a legal identity is being digitally anchored to a national system at birth, long before the individual can consent or even comprehend what that means. In the meantime, Ireland is accelerating its transition into a fully digital society. Under its Digital Public Services Plan 2030 and National Digital and AI Strategy, the Irish government aims to make 100% of key public services available online by the end of the decade. The initiative centers on a life events approach, reorganizing government services around major milestones such as starting school, becoming a parent, securing housing, or registering the birth of a child. And over in Arizona legislators have introduced what may be the most aggressive app store age verification bill in the country. House Bill 2920 would require age verification not just for app downloads, but for pre-installed software, the browser, the text messaging app, the search bar, the calculator, and the weather widget. Every piece of software on a mobile device would be subject to age-gating ID checks under this proposal. The bill, introduced in January and currently pending before the House Science and Technology Committee, creates surveillance architecture that applies to every mobile device user in the state. App Store providers would be required to verify every account holder's age category and share that data with developers. The Department of Homeland Security is moving towards consolidating its vast biometric surveillance tools into a single unified search platform capable of scanning faces, fingerprints, iris scans, and potentially even voice prints. And they're doing this across multiple federal agencies. According to reports, the system would connect Customs and Border Protection, the Secret Service, DHS headquarters under one centralized matching engine. Instead of fragmented databases, the goal is one interoperable black and capable of identity verification and large-scale investigative searches, giving agents the ability to run biometric queries across billions of records in just seconds. The proposed platform would allow DHS to control how strict or permissive a biometric match should be, depending on the situation, whether verifying identity at a checkpoint or generating ranked investigative results from massive databases. The agency is also seeking to wire the system directly into existing biometric sensors and repositories, meaning data captured in one context could be instantly searched across the entire department. Somalia has introduced a sweeping new requirement mandating biometric digital identification for citizens traveling between federal states. Just last week, passengers departing domestically must present a national biometric ID card before boarding flights. Officials say the measure is designed to digitize internal migration systems and monitor the movement of individuals across the country. Authorities also claim that the policy strengthens national security and supports efforts to manage the complex challenges facing Somalia's federal structure. In the meantime, the UK has enforced digital permission to travel. Non-visa nationals who try to enter the UK without an electronic travel authorization, or ETA, will be barred under new rules coming into force. From February 25th, it is mandatory for visitors to the UK to have obtained digital permission to travel. This means that airlines will prevent passengers from boarding if they do not have an ETA, e-visa, or other valid documentation.
Visitors of 85 nationalities, including nationals of the United States, Canada, and France, are now legally required to have an ETA when traveling to the UK. In the meantime, Vietnam is moving closer to implementing its own version of a China style social credit system. A draft proposal from the Ministry of Public Security would categorize digital citizens as positive, basic, or unranked within the government's ID platform. The app already functions as a digital hub for identification, payments, social services, and communication, much like China's WeChat ecosystem. Under the proposal, those ranked positive could receive tax incentives and administrative benefits, while others risk exclusion from certain advantages. Officials insist that the system is not designed for citizen assessment, yet its structure mirrors Beijing's model of digital monitoring and behavioral conditioning. The coalition of 371 security and privacy researchers from 29 countries is raising alarm about the growing push for online verification laws. In an open letter, these experts warned that the systems governments are proposing could create a vast surveillance infrastructure designed as child protection. The concern is straightforward. Enforcing age verification at scale would require users to prove their identity through government-issued identification for routine online activity. According to the researchers, this would fundamentally alter the open nature of the internet, tying personal identity to everything from reading articles to sending private messages. Technology companies are already preparing for the shift. Platforms such as OpenAI, Roblox, and Discord have begun implementing age check mechanisms in anticipation of regulatory mandates. But the researchers argue that the consequences could be far reaching. Identity verification systems would centralize control of the internet in the hands of a few powerful corporations capable of operating such infrastructure. Meanwhile, enforcement mechanisms could lead governments to ban tools like VPNs that allow individuals, especially journalists and dissidents, to communicate privately. In effect, what began as a policy aimed at protecting children could evolve into a global identity gate for the digital world.
We're moving into a world where our physical bodies are becoming one with our digital identity, where buying, selling, and possibly even moving freely could become conditional. But here's where it gets personal, you guys. It's one thing to watch us in public. It's something entirely different to watch us from our living rooms, our kitchens, and perhaps even our bedrooms. What am I talking about? Well, Prophecy Newswatch and Popular Science is reporting that apparently these new smart vacuum cleaners, not only can they map our homes, but they can also collect sensitive information about us, log it, without us even knowing about it.
When your vacuum is watching you, the hidden dangers of the smart home explosion. Goes on to read, the promise of modern smart homes sounds irresistible. Lights that anticipate your mood, thermostats that learn your habits, cameras that guard your family, and robots that quietly clean your floors while you sleep. But beneath that glossy vision lies a growing and deeply unsettling reality. Our homes, once our most private sanctuaries, are quietly transforming into networks of microphones, cameras, sensors, and cloud connections that can be assessed, exploited, or exposed in ways most people barely understand. A recent incident involving a software engineer illustrates just how fragile this digital fortress really is. While experimenting with his own robot vacuum, Sami Asduzful reportedly used an AI coding assistant to reverse engineer how the device communicated with the servers of DJI. What he discovered should alarm anyone with a smart device in their living room. The same credentials that allowed him to access his own vacuum also opened the door to live camera feeds, audio recordings, maps, and system data from nearly 7,000 other machines spread across 24 countries. In other words, a single security flaw effectively created a global surveillance network inside people's homes, one that neither they nor the manufacturer even realize existed. The company told Popular Science the issue has since been fixed, but the deeper concern remains unresolved. If one engineer can stumble into that level of access by accident, what could a malicious actor accomplish intentionally. Cybersecurity experts have warned for years that internet-connected household devices are prime targets for hackers, spies, and data brokers. Unlike laptops or smartphones, many smart appliances are built with convenience, not security, as the primary design goal. They often ship with weak protections, rarely received updates, and rely heavily on remote servers. Yet they operate in the most intimate corners of daily life: bedrooms, kitchens, children's playrooms. And the risks are not hypothetical. Earlier this month, users of Ring cameras flooded social media after a company advertisement promoting a pet finding feature was interpreted by critics as hinting at a broader neighborhood surveillance capability. Around the same time, reports that Google was able to retrieve footage from a smart doorbell camera to assist in a criminal investigation, even after the owner believed it had been deleted. This sparked renewed debate about who truly controls the data collected inside private homes. To be clear, law enforcement access to digital evidence can help solve crimes, but the controversy highlights a troubling truth. Many consumers don't fully grasp where the data lives, how long it is stored, or who can access it. We are entering an era in which the average home could soon contain dozens of internet-connected sensors, each quietly transmitting data about daily routines, conversations, movements, and habits. In such a world, the question is no longer whether breaches will occur, but how often and how severe they will be. A new federal mandate could soon transform the modern automobile into a rolling surveillance system. Under provisions tied to the 2021 Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act, federal regulators are moving toward requiring advanced impaired driving prevention technology in all new passenger vehicles. Beginning around 2026 to 2027, newly manufactured cars may include biometric monitoring systems designed to track driver alertness and sobriety. Cameras and sensors embedded in the dashboard or steering column would monitor eye movement, head position, and other behavioral indicators to determine whether a driver appears impaired or fatigued. The technology functions continuously in the background, creating a biometric profile of the driver in real time. If the system determines that a person may be intoxicated or too drowsy to drive, the vehicle could prevent ignition from starting or limit the car's speed. Supporters have argued that the systems could reduce accidents caused by impaired driving. Critics, however, warn that the constant biometric monitoring is raising serious privacy concerns. Some experts also fear that collected data could potentially be shared with manufacturers, insurers, or even third parties in the future.
These headlines today are not random. They're pieces of a larger picture in a world that's being prepared for digital control on a scale that we've never seen before, you guys. What starts as convenience can quickly become coercion. What begins as safety can become surveillance. And what begins as technology can build the framework for total control. This, I believe, is the map to Revelation 13. That's just my personal opinion. But I'd love to hear from you guys. Tell me what you think in the comments. Also, when you have a free moment, come and visit me on my social media pages as well as my website. Thank you, everybody, for watching. And until next time, God bless and stay safe.